Chill pill ways. Consciousness. You feel it with every heartbeat, in every thought that emerges. But have you ever stopped to wonder where it comes from, or why it exists? It is the greatest secret you hold within yourself. Like, subscribe, and discover more chill pill ways with us. Imagine that science, with all its knowledge, has mapped every tiny piece of your brain. It sees your neurons conversing, signals moving, ideas forming. It's like having a perfect map of an orchestra, knowing every instrument and note. Yet the sensation of being you remains a soft whisper, a mystery unseen in brain connections. Consciousness is that invisible melody the orchestra plays. What, after all, is consciousness? It is a question that, even if you cannot explain it now, I hope it makes you think deeply by the end of this video. Let's start with a simple idea. Consciousness can be seen in two parts. The first is access consciousness. This is when you perceive something. You might be walking in a garden, and suddenly you hear a distant bird song, or notice the colors of the sunset changing in the sky. It's like a light that turns on and reveals what is in front of you, allowing you to navigate your day, recognize things, and react. But there is something very different. Imagine you're simply resting, perhaps with your eyes closed, feeling the quiet rhythm of your own breath. You feel that thing people call being in touch with yourself. It's a private space where memories dance and feelings echo. This sensation of I am here, is the core of who you are. If you have any doubts, just close your eyes for 3 seconds. It's what we call inner life, the reconnection with yourself. This is phenomenological consciousness. It is the essence of what it means to feel something or be something. Think, what is it like to be you? It's a unique experience known only to you. This access consciousness, for example, is where your attention resides. We can even perceive when someone has difficulty in keeping that attention flowing. This is the true idea of attention deficit, a difficulty in getting information from the outside world or even information already in your own mind. And here an interesting difference appears. Your attention can be directed to the world outside or to your own thoughts. Some people perceive very well what happens around them. They are very attentive, but their self-awareness, evaluating their own thoughts, reflecting, pondering, may not be as strong. On the other hand, there are those very focused on themselves, who sometimes have difficulty perceiving what happens externally. This way of directing attention shapes how you live and relate to the world. We can even see in this difference the essence of being introverted or extraverted. The person who turns to the outside world, giving importance to external happenings, is generally extraverted. They throw themselves into conversations, share joy and sadness. Conversely, someone with high self-awareness is generally introverted. Being introverted, by definition, is to dive into one's own thoughts. Extroverts often seek to improve what they see, adding and enriching. Introverts, conversely, act from their inner minds, proposing new ideas. Many great thinkers in history were introverted, moving colossal social changes from their rich inner life. Their strength lies within. This is just a small part of consciousness, the one we call access consciousness. You access the world out there, or the world in here. When we access what is outside, the sense organs filter what comes from the universe, creating images and action plans in your brain. When we access what is inside, you build something in your mind, firing commands to act or creating new ideas. It's a constant ballet of information flowing in and out, building your reality every instant. The first path is bottom-up, from the senses to the brain. The second, top-down, from the mind to action. But where, in all this, does consciousness fit in? If you access things through your senses, why would we need consciousness to perform this access? This question, which seems like a small detail, is not simple at all. David Chalmers, a thinker and brain scientist, calls this the problem of God in the machine. He suggests that consciousness cannot be explained solely by how the brain works. The machine works by itself. Its parts fit together with energy. It's like a perfectly working clock showing time, even if we don't know who assembled it or why. This forces us to question if there's more than just visible parts. Consciousness wouldn't be necessary for the clock to function. Chalmers goes further, imagining a world where there are beings exactly like us, but without consciousness. He calls them zombies. A very famous thought experiment. The point is, you can have the brain functioning perfectly without necessarily having consciousness. Another important idea was proposed by Thomas Nagel in 1974 in an article I love. What is it like to be a bat? It's a brilliantly humorous question. He invites us to reflect. What would it truly be like to be a bat? The immediate answer is obvious. It is impossible to imagine. We can describe how a bat uses sonar or sleeps upside down, but we cannot truly know its subjective experience. He reminds us that each creature carries a unique way of feeling, something our human mind can never fully replicate. This means the idea of consciousness cannot be simplified. You cannot say consciousness is merely the sum of bodily processes. Experience, by definition, doesn't exist as a prediction. It only emerges when lived for the first time. There is another fascinating mental experiment, that of the colorist Aina. Aina is blind, but a brilliant artist who knows all the physical properties of colors. She paints beautiful and precise works of art. She uses red, understands what it expresses and its importance in art in a very deep way. She could describe all light waves and pigment mixtures, but the feeling, the living of the color, was missing. One day, Aina undergoes surgery and begins to see. When she sees it, a new dimension of being is revealed. The question is, has anything surprising happened to Aina when she sees red, or is it exactly as she imagined? Everyone's answer is that something happens. The experience of red is not merely the sum of its physical characteristics. This means the fundamental question of experience's quality, reduced to its material aspects, is complicated. It makes us rethink the ancient body-mind separation. This separation isn't absurd when pragmatic materialist thought can't fully explain consciousness. To say consciousness comes from the brain, congratulations, is easy. But how does it come as experience is the main point of the mystery. It seems that even understanding all characteristics doesn't fully explain how experience arises. Science often views consciousness as a problem, in the sense of a challenge to be solved. It approaches this by separating knowledge, the knower and the known. As a researcher, you observe a brain, hoping what you see applies to others. This is an extrinsic view, but perhaps consciousness, in its feeling aspect, cannot be reduced to this separation. Perhaps it only appears after a lived experience. There are those who disagree, like the brilliant Daniel Dennett, who recently passed away. He says that phenomenological consciousness, the experience of being you, is a false challenge. For him, this consciousness arises when you analyze your own thoughts, which are merely calculations, from a logical point of view. It's like a mirror in front of another, where images multiply endlessly, but it is an illusion. For him, our consciousness becomes a spectacle for our brain, a trick so well done the internal observer is enchanted and convinced of its deepest reality. Like a cube drawing popping off the page, or an ambiguous chalice in faces. Dennett uses the image of magic. The magician is fooled by their own trick. This idea makes us question our perception and inner reality. This idea that consciousness can be a kind of illusion is strong and challenges everything. The solution, then, would not be to say that phenomenological consciousness arises from a specific neuron or a neural network, but that it appears as a trick of the mind, a type of deviation. Another way of putting this is that we have different levels of thought, and one of them observes what is happening within you, your bodily sensations, the tension in your breath, your heart, your muscles, your reflexes, the stored memories of past emotions, and deeper still, our conditionings. Thanks for watching this video. Like, subscribe, and discover more chill pill ways with us. This incessant dance between being and feeling, body and mind, is the essence of our human journey. In this mystery within us lies the beauty of being. Seeing colors, feeling pain, remembering a moment, or imagining something non-existent, consciousness is all this, and the mystery keeps inviting us to explore.